Hey there, everyone. Friendly neighborhood rifleman again, back at you from my mom's basement. Now, what are we working on today? Well, I know I said I had a couple other different ideas I wanted to try before this, but my weaponized autism took hold, so I decided to go ahead and make a version 2 of those armor-piercing slugs I tried in my last video, which barely anyone watched. Please go watch that. Anyway, what do we have? So, this time I loaded them into these Rio shotgun holes. They're originally 7.5 birdshot, and you can actually see the original specs for them right here. Pause to read that if you care. Anyway, these new slugs weigh a bit lighter than the last ones, about half an ounce, so definitely a little light, but that should mean that they're going pretty fast if we get a full powder burn on these. Now, instead of using some homemade jank, wad setup like last time, I decided to use my brain for once and use some of these short, I believe they're Italian Gualandi, short shot cups with a built-in gas seal and cushion. So yeah, these should work quite well. Now, in this next section, I will show you the anatomy of the slugs themselves. So let's take a look at those. Alright, so here's what the slug looks like now. This is the version 2, of course, and we are using a new and improved Diablo style shape, similar to an air rifle pellet. These are proven to be very stable in flight, even through a smoothbore barrel. At the back, we have a 3D printed rear stabilizer, and on the top we have a molded JB Weld kind of nose slash ballast. There's no shot mixed into it this time. I felt like the shot was kind of compromising the strength, making it break apart as it was leaving the barrel. And through the center, just like last time, we have a tool steel core made of O1 tool steel, about 30 caliber. And this time I hardened it. I didn't do a full treatment cycle. This is full hardness, as hard as I could get it. Basically heated it up red hot and quenched it in oil. Alright, so that's what the slugs look like inside. And yeah, we're just going to quit yapping and head out to the range. Let's see what these do. Alright, we made it out to the range with our armor-piercing slug version 2. And our first target is going to be this frozen jug of water. Now, these are actually pretty hard to penetrate. I know a lot of handguns can't even go through one. So we're going to see what these slugs do. We're about 10 yards away. And every shot for this test will be from 10 yards. Let's see what these do. Alright, first slug going down range. 3, 2, 1. Alright, that slug busted up that ice jug pretty good. I don't know I can't tell exactly where it went in, but I don't see any debris inside of the jug itself. But I did find a couple pieces of the 3D printed rear fin assembly. So yeah, busted up the jug pretty good. Now let's go over to some more interesting targets. Alright, next target I have is this really thick stack of books here. You can kind of see compared to my fat ass hands about how thick that is. And we're going to hit this with one of the slugs. Let's see how far it goes through. Alright. Finally learning to read in 3, 2, 1. Alright, so here's the stack of books. And look, I thought we hit straight on here. Here's the nose cone. But if you look up here, that kind of looks suspiciously like our little steel core there, which is very unfortunate. It looks like this thing broke apart. But let's see how far this thing went through. So it looks like our steel core made it right to the G spot in our dictionary here. I guess the plus side is the core is still in one piece though. So that's good, I guess. Alright, even though these might be a completely failure, we're still going to shoot these. Next target is a cinder block. Same one as last time. Alright, cinder block time. Firing. Yep, she left a nice deep dent there. Let's see. Right there. But unfortunately no pass through. Alright, our next target is a little interesting. It is an old radiator that I pulled out of my car when I replaced it. And behind it we have a piece of 1/2 inch thick plywood, and we're going to shoot it, see if anything goes through, and see if it can do any damage after it goes through. Let's see what it does. Alright, firing. 3, 2, 1. Alright, if we look here, we do have 2 separate entrances, so it looks like it broke apart again. And here is our wad stuck in the front of the radiator. Now let's go to the back and see what happened. Well, it looks like we have a nice big hole blown through here. Very nice. Looks like it can at least do some damage. Alright, for the last target, we have, once again, our 1/4 inch mild steel plate securely duct taped to a water jug. And we're going to see what this does. I'm a little closer since these slugs seem to break apart, but we're going to still see what it can do, even though it'll probably fail. Alright, let's see what it does. Alright, 1/4 inch steel, last chance for romance. In 3, 2, 1. Alright, looks like we once again have failure. No real surprise, but it did make a much bigger dent. And even if we look at the back, there's a nice big fresh dent on the back. So I think we're on the right track, but still not flying straight. We need to work on these. Alright, on that last shot, the water jug was completely unscathed, but nothing some point blank buckshot can't take care of. Let's enter the splash zone. Nice. Alright, not much more to say about these. We still need more improvements, but I think we're on the right track. Definitely need to get something a bit more tough to hold together on firing, because the acceleration of these 12 gauge slugs can push up to like 10,000 Gs or something like that. But anyway, I'd like to thank everyone for watching if you do, and throw me a like if you want, dislike if you want, I don't really care, and shoot me a subscribe if you want, but I'm not your dad. Alright, see you next time.